what we call adjuvant therapy. So a question always asked to me, David and others, should we participate in a clinical trial? I do believe that clinical trial may provide access to cutting-edge approaches. Remember, all these therapies Sean mentioned, the hundreds of patients and thousands, were clinical trials. It advanced for sure the state of knowledge at both clinical and biologic level, you know, at the translational research. And these are not because Toni Choueiri has a good idea and want to try this drug and we start trying. The process is very time-consuming, very rigorous, and a lot of time very frustrating. The whole protocol has to go at least through between 25 and 30 stages of development, including review by the colleagues, review by the community, review by the IRB, by the scientific review, science review by the pharmacist, review by the safety, review by the committee. And even if I decide to write, I have a nice combination of trial, I decide to write it today, I'll be lucky if something opens within a year and a half, because those are all steps based on safety and sound science. I set myself on what we call the scientific review committee and review other cancers, other disease, and we discuss, is it scientifically valid this? What are we combining? Are you giving an old chemotherapy in a drug where they're being used just because you want to do it? We discuss with the investigator. So this is, I think, for the protection of both the investigator, the patient, everyone. Are there advantages? One of the questions I asked, is the care better? I personally think it's possibly better because of the team of doctors, sometimes the more so frequent visit, but I do not have a trial or experience that compare patients that go on clinical trial versus one that do not. But possibly we all believe that the care could be better. But could be better for someone doesn't mean it's better for someone else. We always cooperate, like David and Phil were saying, Dr. Saylor, you know, with oncologists in the community. We have patients coming from many, many hours ago, and we have a lot of, you know, oncologists who are partners in the care of the patient. But there is no question that the clinical trials over the past 10 years have led to improvement in patient outcome. But again, each patient is different. I want to remind you there are different schedules, different IV versus oral, costs, side effects, you know, the promise of that drug, yes or no, that have to be really individualized for each patient. And in summary, clinical trial, I think, are a mechanism to advance knowledge and outcome for patient. In patient with kidney cancer, what we have in the literature, not the thousands of patients treated, that the clinical trial in metastatic kidney cancer have included over 5,000 patients, and there is no doubt that resulted in improved in patient outcomes. We love to see cures, but at this time, they're not common. However, they led to development of a new treatment paradigm with targeted agent. And I do believe that continued investigation in a series of the planned or available or ongoing clinical trials will further refine what's the new treatment paradigm, definition of new novel approaches, and hopefully extend the treatment to earlier disease stage, not just the stage 4 disease. And that's it. Thank you very much. Did I go over?
Lots of important information. Questions for Dr. Choueiri?
Yes?
Sean,
Sean, always good student.
This is a pre-prepared question, I think. You told him to ask this question.
Yeah, right. When you look at any statistics in the general design of experiments, there's so many different variables that can go into that. So when you see a result that says maybe there's a 2.7 month advantage to one treatment versus another, can you boil that down and look at another subset of patients? Because that's based on a variety of ages, other other mortalities.
The danger of looking at subset is that you look at the smaller, so you can smaller number of patients, so you can generalize less. But let me explain to you, when we say, let's say axitinib versus sorafenib, there was 2 months in progression-free survival. That's the median progression-free survival. That's a way to present the results and us understand it, because it's really after a lot of statistics and learning that. What it means, if you look at cut, and I wish I had it, I don't have it there, but if you look at 50% mortality in patients, that is the difference in 2 months. What I do look also, when I see those, what we call Kaplan-Meier curve, I see the difference. When did patients start to live longer? Is it after 2 years they were the same, and then after 2 years the curve split? I look at the whole, curve. I look at the 1 year, 2 year survival, 3 year survival. There are several elements to look at this beside the median. Obviously, Sean, if the standard versus the new drug curves are separated from the beginning like this, and the median progression-free survival is 4 months versus 19 months. This is applicable to everyone. This is where we say, look, we hit a home run here. We're gonna win the game. The problem is that advances are happening. They're slow, but they're happening, and patients have more options, and we're gonna continue, that road for now.
Yeah, I guess just to kind of further clarify the question was, would someone who's in their 30s derive more of a benefit from treatment A versus treatment B, even though statistically they may look to
this is
have
a
the
good
same.
question. So people, most of the patients, 90% were between 50 and 70, because that's the kidney cancer presentation. But if you look at the very young patient from a lot of trials, and the older, difficult to say what is older, but we have done that, another 75, 80, and it seems that the benefit is the same. And that is stratifications from large trials by Tim Eisen, by Danny Hang and us, and others that showed, all the patients do benefit. Is the side effects profile different? It doesn't seem to be so. But again, it's all, individualized. But I think at this time I'm confident to say that the benefit overall is the same.
Thank you.
Question in the back?
Thank you. So my question is, when you look at these VEGF inhibitors, most of the really promising things that are available in the past 5 years are in that area. And in your opinion, do you think that there's a possibility that there'll be something that represents a cure or really significant progress there? So right now what we're seeing is there's different variations that are looking at different places on the pathway, and we're seeing incremental improvements. And I'm curious in terms of, again, your opinion, do you think that it's possible that someone will hit on the right combination, upstream, downstream, at that level, and find something that really does have that, hit that mark?
I think overall, and that's again very personal, are we going to cure cancer? General question, but this is personal. I believe that if we continue to do the science and continue to try and continue the alliance between us and the patient and continue to advance this field, we're going to hit something. We're going to hit something, and possibly due to chance. Doesn't matter. Louis Pasteur, that a lot of the major things that happen by chance, and then we go back and look, say, why did this work? Okay, now we understand it. So I do believe, yes, it will arrive. I don't know when, I think it will arrive, and I think patients will live longer. Now, median survival was patient before the VEGF inhibitor, median, average, David, you agree with me, was anywhere between 10 and 11 months. And now we're seeing median 36 to 45 months. So to some, this is, not great. At the end of the day, we're going to lose. But to us, like, we give you this, things are happening, there are new drugs, and we prolong things sometimes. And a lot of patients are able to live, I wouldn't say, free of side effects. Everything is great, forgetting about it, taking their almost baby aspirin pill a day and just don't bother me, doctor. No, but I think the side effects profile overall with the quality of life has been, for the general population, quite acceptable and okay. And certainly with the oral use, slightly better.
Excellent job, Toni.